and welcome into the Around the Association podcast. I'm Jordan Kaye, joined by Skyler Finch, and on the show today, we will get to LeVar Ball's comments, DeMarcus Cousins' trade to the Pelicans.
And the biggest news of the day, Magic Johnson becoming the Lakers' president of basketball operations, hired by Jeannie Buss, who happened to fire her own brother, Jim Buss, and firing the GM, Mitch Kupchak.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting play. I compare it a lot to what happened 2 or 3 years ago with Phil Jackson. They're trying to bring in a former player, a great basketball savant, and it really didn't go well in New York. We're going to have we're going to have to see how Magic does. Magic's got that very charismatic personality, just a winning guy.
Yeah, definitely winning.
So, do you think that is he going to try and change the culture there, or just kind of recruit guys into the culture?
He's definitely going to change the culture, because before, the culture with Jim Buss and Mitch Kupchak was pretty negative over the past couple years because of the losing seasons. So I definitely know that he will bring a great positive culture.
The only thing is, the president of basketball operations is a very broad title. I'm not really sure exactly what he's going to do, because I don't think he knows too much about the salaries and inner workings of the front office of the NBA, or really how to kind of manage a salary cap and budget. Magic's a very extravagant guy who likes to go after these big guys, and I don't really know if he understands how to format a team, build role players, build off young guys, and I think the Lakers have a very big challenge in front of them, trying to put the right people with Magic in order for him to succeed. There has been rumblings of having Kobe's former agent as the GM. They're just going to have to put smart people around him and give him a lot of money to work with if they want this to succeed.
Yeah, definitely, because they need someone who knows about basketball, like this modern age basketball. So Magic Johnson will definitely be a great piece just to lure free agents in the pitches during the summer.
The other thing I worry about is Magic is a very busy guy. If you ever look at his Twitter, which is just a nutshell in itself, Magic just seems like he's traveling and always doing something else. He does a lot of speaking tours. I know he's part owner of the Dodgers.
Yep.
He just seems like he's always in the media. And it's going to be interesting. He has this lifestyle already built in, and he's going to have to kind of devote full time to being the Lakers' president of basketball operations. And that doesn't mean just going to the games and talking with players. That means looking at film of college kids, looking at film of high school guys, making draft boards, talking to other GMs about possible trades. He has a very large plate, and I don't know if he has the time or really if he knows what he's getting himself into.
He's definitely going to have to take a step back from his other ownership jobs, because doesn't he also do stuff with the Los Angeles Sparks?
Yeah, he does stuff with his business dealings run very deep.
He's just going to have to take a step back, because the Lakers is probably his biggest job that he has to do.
Yeah. And now we're going to head over to New Orleans, where the Pelicans are going to add DeMarcus Cousins to already a team with one of the best big men in the league, Anthony Davis. It's very interesting, especially on the Kings' part, because they didn't really get too much for this. DeMarcus Cousins left for Buddy Hield, a first, a second, Tyreek Evans, and Langston Galloway. Not exactly the all-star cast that one would think DeMarcus Cousins is worth. We're going to have to see how both of them kind of play together. How do you think that's going to go?
DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis we'll have to see how they work out right away. I see DeMarcus leaving because I don't know if anything is going to change in the Pelicans. It might just be him and Anthony Davis, because if you look at the rest of the roster, they really don't have anybody else to help feed both those guys. And I've seen better wings at Buffalo Wild Wings. So they definitely need to get some pieces around them. and if they don't, he's definitely going to be leaving.
Yeah, from an on-the-court basis, it's going to be a real test for Alvin Gentry, who really, I think, was kind of on thin ice coming into this year and probably knew that he only had a year or two left and had to make a big splash if he wanted to keep his job. Alvin knows how to play with he's had a lot of good experience with high-profile guys. He was with Phoenix in the late 2000s. With 2010, he was the head coach when they went to the Western Conference Finals with Nash and Amari. Then he went to the Warriors. He has a lot of experience, and I think he's going to do a great job. He's going to know, I bet he knows that Anthony can play the 3 or the 4, and Boogie's going to have to play the 5 at most times. But like you said, they're going to have to put guards around him because Drew Holiday is probably not the point guard, the ideal point guard they want running this stacked front court.
Yeah, I can see them trying to trade up in the draft and get one of the great guards coming out of college this year, but that's probably going to be hard for them.
Yeah, because they don't really have much pieces. They kind of just gave away everything. They don't have a draft pick this year, which probably would have been right around an 8 or a 9. So they're giving all that away. But from the Kings' perspective, I'll quote good old, who's the guy that just left? Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay. He said a couple years ago when George Karl came in, George, welcome to basketball hell.
Yep.
And that is kind of what Sacramento has been for the past couple of years. They've just been a dysfunctional organization. Their GM, Vlade Divac, doesn't really, I don't think he has a grasp on what he's doing. He came out a couple days ago and said, we are not trading DeMarcus. A couple days later, he trades him away. Then he had a press conference after DeMarcus left saying, we had a better offer 2 days ago, but DeMarcus' agent held it up. So how do you think, he's not really the ideal GM?
No. Yeah, Vlade Divac, definitely not the ideal GM. Just a couple years ago, he said they were trying to build around DeMarcus Cousins, and clearly they're not going to anymore.
Yeah, it's because it's very odd. You would think they could get a lot more for him. He did not specify on what that other trade was. Might have been with the Lakers, might have been with the Suns. But I guess they're all in on Buddy Hield. From what I hear, the owner thinks he's a bigger Steph Curry.
Yeah, the next Steph Curry.
Yeah, and with that Steph Curry comparison, we're going to move on to the draft. You mentioned the great pool of guards, and one of those guards is Lonzo Ball, but he's not in the headlines. His dad is, because his dad keeps saying that his son is better than Steph Curry.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball coming out of UCLA, definitely going to the draft this year. Most likely going to be a top 5 pick. But LeVar's dad calling him on a broadcast like the next Steph Curry or the shooting.
The Magic Johnson that can shoot,
yeah.
And LeVar just he loves the media because he requests interviews to go on TMZ all the time. No one requests an interview to go on TMZ. He seems like the only guy that would do that. And do you think that it's going to be a deterrent for teams who want to draft him?
It might. They might be scared to take up that realm of, they might have the next Steph Curry, and they don't want to fail if he does not provide that type of player.
It'll be an interesting dynamic heading into draft time because I'm not really sure if teams want to be looking over their shoulder every time that they make a move with Lonzo. If they're not starting Lonzo in the first game, I don't know if they're going to be worried about his dad talking to the media, and I don't really know if they want to have that dynamic in the locker room.
If I was Lonzo, I would tell my dad to shut up because I wouldn't want my dad speaking for myself. It's like I'm 12 years old again, and you just don't want that reputation.
Yeah, it really makes his dad sound like a little kid and makes Lonzo seem like he can't speak for himself.
Yep.
We're just going to have to see how that turns out and everything else that we talked about on our show today. Thanks for listening. For Skyler, Finch, and Jordan Kaye, you've been listening to the Around the Association podcast.